What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, 10 days to go. 10 days until Anthony Joshua takes on Andy Ruiz Jr. at Madison Square Garden. This is a big fight for AJ. This is a huge fight for AJ. It's the first time that the American public get to see him up close and personal. Although I do say that, I do think Madison Square Garden will be packed with Brits. I actually think that 70 to 80% of the audience will be the Brits that are flying over. So I say the American public get to see him up close and personal. I don't know that many Americans are actually coming to the fight, but regardless, it's still a big fight. It's his first fight in America. I guess it's taken on more significance because of what Deontay Wilder done the other day. Everyone's going to make the comparison when they see AJ. And then obviously the change of opponent as well. Jarrell Miller was a good opponent for AJ, I think, just because he was a brash, loud-talking, massive American. Whereas Andy Ruiz Jr. is just the complete opposite of that, right? Andy Ruiz Jr. doesn't really talk. He's not as big. And just because of the way he looks, right? Just if you're doing it just on looks, everyone's expecting, everyone that don't know about boxing anyway is expecting AJ to blow him out of the water. So pressure is on, right? Pressure is on, no doubt. It's strange when you think of what's happened to AJ in the last, I'm going to say 12 months. I'm going to say 12 months ago, AJ, I think, unequivocally was the man in the heavyweight division, right? This was before Deontay Wilder fought Luis Ortiz. Yes, Deontay Wilder was the WBC heavyweight champion, but if you looked at who Deontay Wilder fought before the Luis Ortiz match, no one. Let's be honest, it was no one. So Anthony Joshua was considered the man. This was before Tyson Fury said, you know, I'm coming back. And even though he did say he was coming back, no one was really sure what Tyson Fury was going to look like. So 12 months ago, I think if you asked 100 people, even Americans, I think 70%, this is just a guess, this is my own opinion, would have said, you know what, the number one heavyweight in the division is Anthony Joshua, right? I think people would have said that. Fast forward 12 months, and I think if you ask 100 people, the same 100 people, Americans, Africans, Europeans, whatever, who the number one heavyweight in the world right now is, I think you would get a split between all three. I think all three would get an equal split. So what, 33.33% for all three of them. And that's quite a big swing in 12 months. That's not down to AJ. That's almost down to what Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's done. Obviously, Tyson Fury's come back from exile, put on that good performance against Deontay Wilder. A lot of people thought he won that fight, so he went to number one automatically. People said, you know what, he's the man, right? If he fights AJ, if he fights Wilder again, he beats them both, he's the man. But then Deontay Wilder done that against Dominic Brazil the other day, and everyone's like, oh my God, if he lands on AJ, he's going to knock AJ out, he's the man. AJ now has to remind people of why he was considered the man of the division 12 months ago. AJ needs to put on one hell of a performance here. One hell of a performance. He needs to almost go back to, and I don't know if he can, it might be a case of level of opponent, but he needs to go back to destructive, brutal Anthony Joshua. We do not, and I repeat, we do not need to see AJ versus Parker performance. We do not, and I repeat, need to see AJ versus Takam performance. We need to see second half of Povetkin performance and a bit of the Klitschko performance to remind people that AJ, or for AJ to remind people, I am the man in this division. Because right now, regardless of the fact that he has 4 belts, people are saying he isn't. And he needs to remind people how good he is. I still do think of the top 3, AJ, I think, is the most complete out of all of them. Look, I've always said Tyson Fury is the best boxer of the 3, but is he the most athletic? No. And he lacks power at the very high level, the kind of power that Wilder and Joshua has. Whereas Wilder, yes, I think he's the most powerful of the 3, but I think his boxing skills are the worst. Whereas AJ, for me, I think we can't deny, has very good power. I think his boxing ability is very, very underrated, very athletic, and has very good boxing IQ as well. So if I was to say who the most complete boxer out of the 3 is, it's AJ, right? But again, none of that shit matters. He's got to put on a performance against Andy Ruiz, almost to shut up a few people, I think. Shut up a few people. I mean, again, he's gone from number 1 for a lot of people to number 3 in the division, regardless, again, of 4 belts. That's the way people have him. A lot of people, including myself, think Tyson Fury beats him. And I have to be honest, if I was to put money or gun to the head, Wilder Joshua, I'd say Wilder. So he has to prove me wrong as well. And that means dominating and destroying Andy Ruiz. Can he do that? Yes, won't be easy. Andy Ruiz is a good boxer. I think a lot of the boxing people know this. A lot of people even think it's a harder fight stylistically than Jarrell Miller. So look, it's not going to be easy, but regardless, there are no excuses. He's got to be destructive, AJ. He has to be. Because right now, I mean, some of the American public are almost shitting on his name. I have to be honest with you. I've seen a lot of people chat quite a lot of doo-doo, including, I saw an interview with Brendan Schaub recently. I can't lie to you. I like Brendan Schaub. I watch his podcast, The Fighter and the Kid, especially when he goes on the Joe Rogan podcast. As soon as he talks boxing, I tune out because he knows absolutely nothing about boxing. And that doesn't mean he can't talk boxing, but the platform he's given, ESPN, Showtime, I'd expect them to get someone that knows boxing. Brendan Schaub done an interview recently on, I can't remember the girl's name. So I think Christine Allen or something. And she said to him, or she asked him the question, who do you think is the most overrated boxer right now in boxing? He said Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua has a lot to prove to a lot of people. And for me, as an AJ fan, as a Brit, as a Nigerian, I hope he goes there and absolutely destroys Andy Ruiz Jr., gets that mic, grabs it from whoever's going to be interviewing him and calls out one man and one man only. And I pray to the heavens of boxing that Wilder is ringside. There are rumors that Wilder could be ringside. I don't know. I mean, it's a DAZN show. Do they want to show a Showtime fighter ringside? I'm not sure, but fingers crossed he is, and we can get this party started. Because let's be honest, no one wants to see AJ versus no one else, and no one wants to see Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz or Kalnaki. Fact. It's got to happen next, but AJ has to be at his best. He's brilliant best, and I think he will be. I think he will be. One other thing, though, before we go. Is it just me, or has the promotion for this fight been lacking a little bit? When you consider who AJ is, I mean, we're talking about, behind Canelo, maybe even up there with Canelo, the biggest boxer in the world. Yes, he's had a fight replacement in terms of Jarrell Miller dropped out and Ruiz has come in. But surely, has there been a press conference with those two together yet? I don't think I've even seen a head-to-head. I think the promotion's been lacking a little bit. I feel like I'm getting more promotion from Anthony Joshua's YouTube page than I am for anything else. I say all this knowing that I don't have Sky Sports where I am right now in South Africa, so maybe Sky Sports are pumping it and I don't know, but it just seems to be lacking somewhat. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know. Peace.